City Council, meeting number 14, July 20th, 2020, 5:30, Thomas J. Smith, Council Chambers, City Hall. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Kathleen, roll call, please.
Murray.
Here.
Maupin.
Here.
Rinker.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Kreitzer.
All right. First up, we have a little bit of a celebration. We have a 10-year award. Pro Tem.
I am so excited to present this certificate of recognition and grateful recognition of 30 years of dedicated service to the City of Burlington as of May 25th this year, 2020. We hereby present this award to Gregory Hoffer with this certificate of recognition, signed John D. Billups, Mayor. So if you want to come up and receive this.
30 years, I'm going to jump in there. Thank you. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. You going to take a picture, Chief? I will. All right, thank you, sir. Sorry. He's the man in the middle there. All right. Would you like to have a few words? No, I'm fine. After 30 years, no words. No, that's what allowed me to keep the job. All right. Very smart. Thank you. All right. It was good. Did you have anything you wanted to say? All right. That's what I thought. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Officer Hoffer. I've known Officer Hoffer since he first started at the police department. And a little bit of history here is Greg and I started together as dispatchers. I was a dispatcher for a short time before becoming a police officer, and Greg also started as a dispatcher also. Little did I know when I was a young patrolman that Officer Hoffer would be a probationary officer and I'd be his field training officers. And I have a few stories about Officer Hoffer.
Please share.
But I won't share those because he has a few of those about me also. So as being young officers on patrol, it was a very enlightening experience for both of us, and we've grown up through the department kind of together. And after 30 years, which doesn't seem that long, does it, Greg?
Not at all.
So after 30 years on the department, Greg has done a lot for our department. He's accomplished a lot, and better yet, he's been a good friend and a good police officer for the city of Burlington. And congratulations to him. I really appreciate him. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you very much. I will add a thanks to you as well, Officer. And Greg, a huge thank you to your family for their support to allow you to continue your career. So thank you, family members, for supporting him in his efforts. We really appreciate it. The city is better for your service. Thank you. All right. You guys can stick around if you want and see the fun stuff that goes on with council.
I don't know if Ethan Blinken will make it that long.
All right.
Because he doesn't, he eats a
We'll eat
little
anything.
bit.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All righty. Now we'll follow that up with the exciting consent agenda. All matters listed under item 1, consent agenda, having been discussed, are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, then that item will be removed from consent agenda and will be considered separately. On the consent for tonight, we have finances and miscellaneous, minutes of previous meetings, payrolls, and city claims. Reports and bonds. Is the no cigarette, liquor, wine permits okay? At least I'm paying attention. Resolutions. Resolution approving the nuisance and demolition abatements for various properties. A resolution approving the purchase of a property with corrective PIN 16-07-176-001 for future Mason Road stormwater improvements. Resolution 3, approving master facilities agreement with Interstate Power and Light Company. And we're going to set the date for public hearings August 3rd, 2020. First will be a consideration of sale of Lot 1 in Parkview subdivision, 713 Shokakon Drive, City of Burlington, Iowa, with conditions. Number 2 will be a consideration of a sale of property locally known as 1116 Spring Street, City of Burlington, Iowa, with conditions. Number 3 is consideration of plans and specifications for the 2020 Walnut Street Combined Sewer Repair Project, manhole 86-J12. And 3 appointments, Economic Development Advisory Board, Joel Siren, Housing Appeals Board, Tim Agnew, and Parks Advisory Committee, Peggy Hunt. Is there anyone online? Okay. Is there anyone online that would like one of these items removed from the consent agenda? On the phone? Hearing none. Is there anyone in the audience would like anything removed from the consent agenda? Council?
Your Honor, I have a motion to approve all items listed under item 1, consent agenda.
Second?
Kathleen, when you were ready.
Graham Murray,
Aye.
Mopin,
Yes.
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. First up is a consideration of sale of property locally known as 232 South 6th Street, City of Burlington, Iowa, with conditions. Mr. Tislin, please.
This is a property we acquired a few years ago from owner deed. Had been vacant, abandoned for quite some time. Did sell it to individuals that were looking to rehab it and just wasn't in a condition that they could move forward with that rehab based on foundation and cost to undertake it once they got into it. So came back to the city and currently have one bid from property owner to the north, Rebecca Anderson, for $500. As with our vacant lots, we try and sell those to adjacent property owners or see if someone's interested in building a home on the lot. This is, I guess, an area where neighbors were notified of the lot and did have interest from the neighbor to the north.
Okay. Is there anyone online?
They actually just hung up, so we don't have anybody right now.
Okay. So is there anyone in the audience? Hi, Becky. Is there anybody on the audience that'd like to bid on this property? We don't have anybody online, so going once, going twice, sold for $500. Okay. Linda?
Your Honor, I have a motion to close that the hearing regarding consideration of sale of the property locally known as 232 South 6th Street in the City of Burlington, Iowa, with conditions be sold to Becky.
We just need to close.
Oh,
Just
be
need to close
closed.
it.
Need a
Second?
second.
Second?
When you're ready, Kathleen?
Graham Murray,
Aye.
Mopin,
Yes.
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Kreitzer.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay.
The resolution, yep.
Okay. Your Honor, I have a resolution approving the sale of the property locally known as 232 South 6th Street, City of Burlington, Iowa, with conditions be sold to Becky Anderson for $500.
Second?
When you're ready, Kathleen?
Graham Murray,
Aye.
Mopin,
Yes.
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer.
Yes.
All right. Number 2, consideration of a permanent encroachment agreement with McConnell Lofts LLC for encroachment in a North 4th Street right-of-way adjacent to 206-208 North 4th Street, Burlington, Iowa. Eric?
McConnell Lofts LLC has requested to have an encroachment on city right-of-way, North 4th Street, for entrance and exit ramps for their building there at 206 and 208 North 4th entrances, with Todd Darnell and Mike Darnell representing as the applicants. Looking to have an entrance into the existing restaurant area there on the left, and then this entrance here, which is the primary entrance for the upper story residential lofts and apartments there. So looking to have two very similar ramps with the slope of the grade going to the south allows entrance from the ramp from the north and then stairs on the south side with a railing. It will project about 5 feet into city right-of-way, leaving about 8 feet of city right-of-way remaining for open sidewalk use there. So it is a wider sidewalk that does allow the ramp and still a lot of pedestrian access throughout there.
Can we go back to that other photo? Yeah, see, to me, it looks like it really solves a problem there,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's great. Does anybody online? No? Does anybody in council have any questions about it? Okay. Can I get a motion?
Your Honor, motion to close?
When you're ready, Kathleen?
Graham Murray,
Yes.
Mopin,
Yes.
Rinker,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing a permanent encroachment agreement with McConnell Lofts LLC for the encroachment into North Fourth Street right-of-way adjacent to 206-208 North Fourth Street, Burlington, Iowa.
Second.
When you're ready, Kathleen?
Graham Murray,
Aye.
Mopin,
Yes.
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer.
Yes.
All right, carries. Good deal. Next up is a consideration of plans and specifications for the 2020 flood mitigation project, Phase 6. Leo, how are you today,
Very
sir?
good. Leo Foley, Veenstra and Kim. At the committee of the whole, we talked about the schedule. After that meeting, we went back, talked to your staff as well as the structural engineers, and we decided that we thought the substantial completion should be moved back till June 30th. And our reasoning on that was we just think they need more time for fabrication. They don't like to fabricate the removable things until they get kind of the alignment all in on the ground. And we just thought we'll give them more time and hold our fingers, keep our fingers crossed as far as the flooding goes.
Okay.
So that was that one, and then we just did the same thing. We gave them a couple of more months for final completion. So that was a change from the last time I talked to you guys. This in general is the same drawing I showed you before. Alignments are the same. I'd like to start on the downstream or the southern alignment. And this is just showing the southern alignment. And again, it shows connecting into the existing flood wall, coming up, and then making some jogs in here. Those jogs were necessary due to keeping the lift station up and running and as ease of operations as possible. And also, if you look at the next slide, this kind of shows up in this area how the lift station and then how the entrance with the Tiger Grant is going to change. So here's the wall coming through, and you can see we wanted to be parallel here. The box structure over here, we want it to be perpendicular when we cross that. We have to be perpendicular when we cross the railroad. So there were just so many utilities and things, that's what made for the jogs. So I just wanted everybody to see that and realize I was going to go back and remind everybody, this is the force main coming in and connecting in, and then there'll need to be more work done on that after this contract. This is the upstream, and this is the one where, Mayor, you had a question about Front Street. We were under the impression we could close Front Street, realizing that there's a parking lot here and they could get to a different direction. As you see, there's a box right here. That's a pilaster. That pilaster spans the railroad track. It's not the normal pilaster because of the railroad closure. It's a much bigger and stronger pilaster than any of them on the riverfront. And as you can see, this is the line for Front Street, the curb. Excuse me. That is out into the street. So we couldn't move back to the east because there's a real problem with railroad and how much distance they needed on the track for safety reasons. So then we thought, well, we could relocate this road and move it over and kind of have a little jog so we'd be up in this direction. That's into that DOT ramp. And so we started looking at what the costs are. And the costs to not do a half wall. Again, it's kind of hard to understand, but this wall is designed much heavier than any of the other walls because we had to design for ice load. Ice load is unbelievable on this part of the river, the amount of difference. So they're assuming full ice coming and hitting that wall. And so they would need to do a lot of changes up here. The cost we came up with was about $100,000 in changes. That's not including the retaining wall for what we reline the road. So we were thinking our estimates in the $150,000 range to make that change, and we probably need to delay about 1 month because we don't have all that designed at this point. Not saying we couldn't do it, nothing's impossible, but there is a cost associated with it. And we were under the impression, and I spoke a little quick last time when I told you I thought it might be fairly easy to do. My structural engineer wasn't too proud of me for that discussion when he heard that I thought it was a fair change. He did not like it at all because he's the one that did all the ice load and all of that. So it is something we could do, but it would take significant effort to make that happen. The other thing is we have not coordinated with anybody as far as putting a retaining wall in here, so there'd be some coordination problems.
Leah, I'm gonna pick your brain for something.
Yes,
So, it's, not all of the wall goes up, doesn't have to go up if the water is only halfway in the parking lot, correct?
correct. This wall, there's gonna be a half wall up in here. Now, there's opening here and an opening here,
But the road goes away 100%.
because there's
Right.
gonna be a half wall across of it
Okay.
right now. And from what I understand, last year, there was water that got up onto the road, up onto this road right here. So you would have that taken care of with that half wall, just like in most of these other places. The only places you would, if the water gets up in here, you'd be putting some of your removable walls in because of those two openings.
So the wall does remove inside the parking lot itself.
Yes. And the reason we designed it that way, that was all designed in, and that was a big deal of a design, is because we needed to be able to get traffic through and all of that type, so you didn't want a half wall in there. But it was designed for that thing, and the foundations are massive. You'll see when
So the real question is, and you're gonna know this answer better than anybody, how much large boat traffic do you guys have down at the marina during flooding? Because keep in mind, if there's no flooding going on, they can drive to the parking lot and make that. But during flooding events, how many people are pulling in with a 30-foot boat on the back of their truck? Because I made that turn the other night with my John boat just to try it out. It wasn't that big of a problem, but
No.
if you get a big enough boat, it is.
Yeah, but if the water's that high, they're generally not going out, so. Well, I guess if there is traffic through the parking lot, I mean, I'm not
There
a
is.
big fan of access through a parking lot, but if that saves the city $150,000, it's a compromise, I guess. I'm just reluctant to close off streets.
I understand. No, I do understand.
I think, guys.
Did you see any other possible solution, other?
The solutions I found weren't very palatable to your staff. One was to stop the wall right here and then try to do this with sandbag closures, because again, it's up kind of high. But then Nick reminded me that was a real problem.
That's your weak point.
That was a weak point the year before, and then because of the railroad, but,
Yeah, but how often do we get water up there?
well, that's what I was saying. But when it happened last year, it's pretty,
3 times this 3 times.
right, there's the problem.
That's true, okay.
There's the problem.
Stand corrected.
I use that analogy a lot, that it won't happen very often, but the last 5 years on this river, it's happening every year, it seems like.
Yeah, well,
How tall are the half walls?
The half walls are 42 inches tall.
Okay, is there, and this is just, is there ability to have it ramped up and
Yeah,
over?
we thought about it. To do that, you'd probably be ramping up about about 42 inches or so in that area, which we thought is a lot of road work each direction to make that work.
And-
Not saying you couldn't do it, and then you'd have to design something to go up higher during a flood.
Yeah, it'd have to be pretty gradual.
So the
too,
cost,
for a
the
boat.
cost got there again. We did look at that, sir. We tried to say, could that be and it might be the cheapest alternative, but it's still not gonna be, it's still gonna be in that 100 to 150 range.
Well, I'm not through with blocking up the street, but I will admit that I forgot that those panels would be gone. in the
They're
parking
gone.
lot, So.
Yeah. And the other thing is this one, and all the ones on the front and all the ones on the south are all at the same sill elevation. Meaning that when your staff goes out there, they put them all in the same, which means the foundations were designed similarly. This one up here, you'd have a different sill, which means it would be a different design, more or less for your flood walls.
So basically, when we close it off, we're just creating a new parking lot.
You're creating
Yeah, when you close it
a
off.
parking lot that you get to from one direction, correct? I drove through it tonight. It almost kind of looks like a parking lot, even
Yeah.
I mean, in the winter, we put dockets there,
dockage, you could
but
still do
in the
that.
summer, it could be
Yes, sir.
striped, you can
So-
park vehicles in
So
there.
essentially, we still have some dockage in there, unfortunately now because of the
I saw.
pilings. But you could move that storage up against the wall on the north side of that and allow for parking into that section there. And you could have angled parking both the same direction where somebody'd have to back in type of method. But
Yeah.
it wouldn't really have a very good drive lane turnaround for long boats, but if they knew what they were doing, they could back in there. So it's not the greatest solution, but at least you make some use of it.
I mean, it's better than just having a concrete pad that's got weeds growing through the cracks.
Yeah.
Storage pad, more or less, yes. We can look at a design of a parking I haven't done that yet, but we could.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, thanks.
This is just showing you again how much of the area is gonna be demolition plan on the south side. And then this is the demolition and where we'll use for the laydown for all of the wall that's coming through here. The intent is they'll have to redo that, so then it matches in here and matches in here. And that would be with the Tiger Grant. So all of this has kind of been coordinated through the Tiger Grant. And again, the Tiger Grant brings the 30-inch force main down to here. At this point, we have a bore pit, and the 30-inch comes underneath the railroad, and then we take off and connect into the blind flange over there. This is just showing you what that railroad closure looks like. The short line rail out road, people have seen this. We are in the process right now. When they saw all of the design plans, it looked like the runaround where they were gonna be able to build a runaround would have been very difficult for them, and they were not thinking that was gonna be near as easy as they thought on either end, actually. So we did have a guy that has designed a railroad closure like this under traffic. And we got pretty good cooperation from the Burlington Junction, where they said if we could do it for an hour a day, let traffic go by. So we plan to put steel beams across to 2 header walls and put the track on there and be able to remove that track every day if we have to. He also told us he'll give us 4 days every couple of weeks, where he'd give us Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll get that into the specifications, and we think it's probably gonna be cheaper than the way it was bid before, because they were telling us 150,000, same number, for doing these track relocations, so.
We're still going down to one track up down there, aren't we?
They're still going down to one track, from what I understand. I think the reason they didn't do it yet is primarily because they were thinking they might be able to use that as a secondary track. But when they saw the size of the foundations, they would have had to move that 8 feet over.
Can I point something out on that? So you're talking about that, going down from 2 tracks to 1, and it doesn't, you don't have to have the design up there. One of the things that we have already signed off on, and I might have had that for the mayor to sign off on, letter of support for the short line to request funding from the state, a low interest loan, or no interest loan, for doing a new passing track north of there. Part of that will require a couple of pieces. One will be, they're gonna need an easement from us for where that will lay, because it'll be on some of our land. They'll be coming to us at some point for an easement agreement with that. They also, as they've gone through this process of working with us and reducing that from 2 to 1, it changed the dynamics of what the cost was for our closure structures. And we talk, we're straightforward. I mean, we're gonna save money with them doing that. It also limits how much land they're using through there and gives us a little bit more flexibility with the other stuff that's going on. They will likely be coming to us along with that request for an easement agreement. They know we had some savings, and it's a benefit to us to have reduced the trackage there. They'd like to see us pay a portion of their costs. And there would be some reason for us to have a discussion about paying a portion, because we are saving money. Now, how much are we saving for the one?
We thought about $200,000. So if you would have had two tracks, we would have had about a $200,000 increase to do 2 tracks. And then the other thing is as they raise their track, they did one of the where you go over the track and put in the concrete, which we were gonna do with the Tiger grant, so that saved us a little money also. I do have that somewhere else. The costs on this project are, right now, the engineer's estimate is $3.8 million roughly for the construction. Again, we've got to hope that we get good bids. We've been lucky lately on some bids on wastewater treatment plants that are big projects that are kind of unique construction like this. And that hopefully that the contractor is hungry as they've been the last couple of months, because we have seen some very hungry bids. But this is a difficult challenge. There's no question. Nobody's going to take this on unless they feel real strong about it. I'm sure SG, the local contractor, will bid it again, and I'm sure he'll get some competition.
Could you do me a favor and go back a couple slides?
Yes.
To where it shows the boat dock? I'm just gonna ask a question. Go
South
back.
or north?
The north, right there, it's fine.
Yes.
See that little stub, and they're doing the construction where the little round up, to go up from where the ramps are up further,
Up the ramp?
right there, that little nub that's hanging out.
Right there.
Yeah, that little round section, half a circle that comes down.
This
right?
one.
That one.
Yes.
Is there a reason we have to have that? Because
No.
I'll tell you what, it's gonna happen is trucks are gonna be backing over that.
No, we can change that. One of the reasons they put that in there is that's a way to kind of filter traffic and to, but with the boat ramp there, I think that we could, what they want to do is reduce traffic coming through.
Yeah.
So you get it into just this roadway that goes through the thing. But I think that particular one, there's no structural reason at all for it.
Well, I'm telling you, when you're backing a big boat, like a 25-footer in there, you're gonna be up on
All
that
right.
curb.
No, we could
In fact,
take,
you're on that other knob too, so it'd be
Well,
nice to not have
That's what's
those.
there right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And so it makes a maintenance problem from down the road, because we're beating the curb up every time.
what we planned on doing, this was taken directly from the Tiger grant.
Okay.
And it ties into here, but what about that one on that
I
side?
would love to see that gone too, but
So-
I'm just making the suggestion if we're working on it.
I like it, and we'll look at it a lot. What this is we were gonna do this with the flood mitigation money because we're gonna tear it up anyway.
Right.
So at one time, we thought about leaving it until the Tiger grant, but then we got a little nervous about how long you leave it and all that, so we said, and the Tiger money's not as always, no money's ever as plentiful as we'd like it to be. So we decided to do that. But we can stop, and then this part of the Tiger grant is an alternative right now.
Right.
I hope we have money to do it, but otherwise we'll be blending in. So it might, even if I got rid of that, make for easier, to make a smoother transition.
Yeah, because I think it gets narrow with the other one.
It does.
To the south of it. which should help, and the same thing is true in the north. It's just those two spots are really inconvenient.
That's a
when you're
good, that's a good point. I get it 100.
Okay.
I'm a boater, and I'm not the greatest of backing up a boater. Now I slip my
No
boat.
one is.
But when I wasn't slipping my boat, I understand this very, very well.
Well, sounds good.
Is there anybody online? Mute him. Did you have anything else, Leo? Are
Nothing.
you ready for questions? Okay.
Thank you.
If, is there anybody on the telephone that has any questions regarding the flood mitigation plans? That's you talking. Hello? Yeah, it's got a delay. Okay, I don't hear any. Any council? Oh, okay. Did you have any questions regarding the flood mitigation plan?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Please,
Bob Sart, Hawkeye.
okay, Bob, your address?
800 South Main Street.
Thank you. Go ahead and ask your question, sir.
Is this live in the room?
Yes?
I just need the name and position of the gentleman who was just speaking.
Okay. Oh, you're doing the story. Okay, would you repeat
My
it,
name's
Leo?
Leo Foley, and I'm with Veenstra and Kim. I'm the project manager for the flood mitigation project.
Okay, wait, the name again, please.
Leo Foley, Foley.
Okay, and his position, I'll look it up.
I'm project manager for the flood protection project.
Okay,
And you can give me a call later if you got questions, Bob.
I'm also a vice president for Veenstra and Kim.
No, you got my cell, call my cell. Okay?
yeah,
All right. Do you have any questions regarding that, though? No?
no,
Okay, good.
I've got plenty to do right now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Now I have-
Council, is there any questions for Leo? Can I get a motion?
Your Honor, I have a motion to close.
Second.
When you're ready, Kathleen.
Graham Murray,
Yes.
Moffitt,
Yes.
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer.
Yes. Your Honor, I have a resolution approving plans and specifications for the 2020 flood mitigation phase 6.
Can I get-
Second.
Thank you. When you're ready, Kathleen.
Graham Murray,
Yes.
Moffitt,
Yes.
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer.
Yes.
All right, it carries. Thank you very much, Leo.
Thank you.
Next up is an ordinance.
Yes, I have a motion for final adoption of the ordinance amending ordinances relating to designating an area of Burlington, Iowa as the Burlington Urban Revitalization Area.
Hi, Eric.
Hello.
Second.
Second.
No changes from the previous two readings, just adding area a couple blocks in downtown to the urban revitalization area that allows expanded tax abatement for residential in this area. So 4th to 8th and Columbia to Washington.
Yeah, we've discussed this over. Is there anybody still online? Just the one? Does anybody have any, I'm sorry, I unmuted. Thanks, Jessica. Does anybody have any questions regarding this ordinance about the Burlington Urban Revitalization Area? Gotta wait a second for my voice to be done. Hearing none. Council, you have any questions? All right. Can we have a vote, please, Kathleen?
Graham Murray,
Aye.
Moffitt,
Yes.
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer.
Yes.
Okay, carries. Next up is a motion for preliminary adoption of the second reading of an ordinance amending the section 73.04 special speed restrictions of chapter 73 speed regulations of the Burlington Municipal Code.
Second.
Nick?
The ordinance in front of you has not changed since the last reading. It involves changing speed limit in two different sections of town. One is the creation and then the extension of two new roadways over by the Recplex, Hinkle Drive and then Broadway. Because of the parking and the activities going on there, bring the speed limit down further to from what it is in other areas over there. The other location is in the Stonegate Stone Garden complex. It has some changes happen over the last couple of years, along with the installation of a gate on Valley Street, which has stopped the flow of traffic kind of through that area. This is upon request of the manager of that area. Myself and the police chief have both been abreast of the situation and think that it makes sense to do this. So,
Okay.
Otherwise, I can answer any questions.
Is there anybody, you want to unmute them, Jessica? Does anybody have any questions regarding the speed restrictions amendment 7304, special speed restrictions online or on the phone? Hearing none, council?
Have a motion to amend.
Okay,
To amend the motion and for preliminary adoption of the second reading of the ordinance amending sections 73.04 special speed restrictions of chapter 73 speed regulations of the Burlington Municipal Code to read as follows. For waiver of a preliminary consideration and adoption of the second reading and for final adoption of the ordinance amending section 73.04 special speed restrictions of chapter 73 speed regulations of the Burlington Municipal Code.
any
Second?
Any discussion? I know we discussed waiving this before. Is everybody all right with that? And we've already had discussion with the public, so let's vote on the amendment, please.
Graham Murray,
Yes.
Mopin,
Yes.
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer,
Yes.
All right, let's vote on the original motion as amended, please.
Graham Murray,
Aye.
Mopin,
Yes.
Rinker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer.
Yes.
All right, so we got that one resolved. Next up is a resolution awarding contract for the 2020 Fifth Street and Valley Street parking lot project. Mr.
Second.
McGregor.
The resolution in front of you would award contract to Brandt Construction in the amount of $689,862.78. This project came in overbid. The estimate on this was $600,000. So $89,000 is a fairly significant overage on it. However, there are some things that, in speaking with the city engineer, that we feel that we can reduce out after awarding contract through some change orders to a different specification. We had the same quantities on that, and you're allowed to do that. So we think that we could probably have a savings around $60,000. We also are attempting to recoup some of the monies that we had to return from the IDOLs. The funds that we had originally came from the Green Alley project associated with the Tama project, where we had $75,000. Because the green infrastructure was projected to be a little bit less, it's a 50% match, so we're only using $51,000 of that. So hopefully we can get back some of the extra money for the additional costs that we didn't know that we were gonna have for those same functions. So we're attempting to do that, but we also have some other TIF funds available from the
No TIF funds.
Okay.
That is all being funded, our portion of it from the Manor site.
Manor site, yeah.
We have in a capital account, what's left out of that, it's about $650,000, along with the $50,000 or so that's in for the IDOLS funds. We have enough to cover about $700,000. I was even talking with Stephanie and Nick earlier. The parking fund is gonna be the area that is gonna see the least revenue come in off of this. If push come to shove, we can use that fund to cover any piece that's over it. I don't anticipate it being over that, but if it is, it's gonna be in the, like the 10 to 20 type thousand thing. And I feel comfortable using that source of funds to cover that.
It's good for me. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Nick. Is there anybody online still? It's probably Bob. Does anybody have any questions regarding the Fifth and Valley Street parking lot project? It's got a long delay, so we have to wait.
I can kind of hear you in stereo, Sean.
It hasn't done that before.
30-second delay.
I hear no questions. Staff, do you have any other questions on it? Can we get a vote, please?
Graham Murray,
Aye.
Mopin,
Yes.
Raker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer.
Yes.
All right, that is done. So now we have comments from the audience. So anybody in the audience would like to bring something before council? Understand, we want and need your comments and your input, but we may not address it if it's not on the agenda. It's still playing the voting, so. Hearing nothing. Okay. Let's go around the horn for staff. Eric? Don? Nick?
We should be paving on Central Street this week. They have to clean and lay tack down, but given the rain that was supposed to be coming, they didn't want to lay it down until they're ready. They should move pretty quickly. They plan to start milling by the end of the week on the south section, so this will be a pretty quick turnaround to get the asphalt down. So it'll probably go tack in the morning. They'll lay asphalt for the first course, and then they'll go the finishing course the next day, roll it out, move traffic control, and start on the south section. So there will be some traffic or some parking signage that'll go up on the section between South and Harrison. So that'll be the change for the residents in that area. I think you've all received an email about a ribbon cutting for Hinkle Drive on the 23rd at noon. So I just wanted to make you aware of that again. But other than that, that's all I got.
Hey, stay up there real quick, Nick. Somebody asked me about something going on 6th Street where it looks like you painted some lines or something's going on. It's like a dead end street. I can't remember the intersection.
What section of 6th Street?
I wish I knew. Somebody just stopped me today when I was at Walmart and they said looks like they're getting ready to work on a project there, and I told them that I wasn't sure, that maybe it's
Like
sewer.
spray paint can lines on the ground?
Possibly.
Probably locates of some sort, but I don't know that
Okay,
it's.
well, they look like it's like a project was getting set up. I can follow up with you.
Okay, yep, just let me know.
Okay.
All right. Chief Trexel?
No.
Chief Kramer? Jessica? Stephanie? Kathleen? Jim, come on up. We've missed you. You were sick last week and it was like, oh.
I had to stay at home, man. It was horrible. For a whole stinking week.
With the other 18 people that live in your house?
With the other 18 people that lived, I was socially distancing myself with them. I had a friend who asked if I had to kick my wife out so that I could be at home and still maintain proper numbers in the household. But she didn't leave. The only thing I really wanted to bring up was we are still working on trying to get an amendment to our CSO, Combined Sewer System Overflow order. We have a consent order that is asked for all construction work to be done by 2025, and then all separation, then the equalizations by 2028. With the integrated management plan that we've been working on with the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, they have talked about a willingness to look at a much different schedule. We still have to get a formal document into them that has a request for a revised schedule in it on that CSO work. We're looking to get that submitted here in the next few weeks. That's a big deal because that will change a project that has 8 years left on it to one that has 50 years left on it.
Yeah.
That's optimistic.
That's, well, and we feel good about the ability to get it done. It's not that we're gonna do no other work, and the reason that they're willing to work with us is we are doing a significant amount of other projects that need done within our system that we look at and have weighed out in terms of what's their relative importance to us as a community overall and meeting those clean water standards. But it's a big deal to get some agreement from them to see something like this. Otherwise, we're looking at not just that other work that needs to be done, like Mississippi Sewer Interceptor that goes underneath a portion of the river. That's a project that's like 12 to $13 million. See those kind of things that we had no way to figure out where to get those worked in. We'd have to be doing that along with about $100 million plus of work on that sewer separation on the Mazel by 2025. That just as a whole, we can't. I don't know how we would come out of if we had to do that. So, again, they've expressed a lot of willingness to do this. It's just we need to get them to actually sign off and agree to it. So, just to let you know, that's coming up as we move forward over the next couple of months.
Sounds good, thank you. Bill?
I'm good.
Robert?
Good.
Matt?
Good.
Linda?
Had a question for Nick. So you said that forestry's gonna be picking up limbs in the right-of-way after that last storm?
So, forestry has already been picking up, and that's for right-of-way trees. We pick up the limbs that are fallen off of right-of-way trees, and not pulling them off of the private property behind the property line. So just try to be clear about that. Street sweeper, you're getting out to clean up streets as well, and it's primarily the North Hill, northern part of town that saw the significant tree damage.
Okay, thank you. And then also wanted to remind everybody, September 11th and 12th for you garage sailors is going to be Burlington Citywide Yard Sales again. So September 11th and 12th. So put that on your calendar.
Thank you, Linda.
Linda?
I don't have anything either to add, so if I could get a motion to adjourn.
Motion to close.
Second?
Kathleen, when you're ready, let's vote.
Graham Murray,
Yes.
Mopin,
Yes.
Riker,
Yes.
Phillips,
Aye.